Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is 9 o'clock on Friday, and you are watching me, Deb Burton, Executive Director of RI Elder Info, where every week I bring you Friday Friends and I interview other organizations that have information that you or someone you know needs to know about. So I encourage you, hit the like button, the share button, the bells, the whistles, the follows, subscribes, all those social media cues, because today I am speaking with Leticia Torres from Careforth about how caregivers can get paid to take care of their loved ones. And I know that this is a really hot topic, so please help us get the word out because it's critical. It really is. Now, as you all know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we could not do this without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to all of the individuals who support our work: United Healthcare, 321 Media, Age Friendly Rhode Island College, Social Enterprise Greenhouse, and especially for Friday Friends, our friends at Careforth. Here's a message from Careforth.
Caregiving, first of all, is the most selfless act. You're just on 24/7. In order to do all that, you need someone to make sure that you, as the caregiver, are taking care of yourself. And nobody cares for your family like you do. You love them. The whole program is amazing to get paid for something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid. You're not just one person, but you have a whole team behind you, and we're all here to help.
Welcome, Leticia. How are you today?
I'm good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So I get asked a lot about how do I get paid to take care of my loved one, because it's a lot of work and it means I can't work outside of the home. And, you know, you and I connected at an event and I was like, oh my gosh, people need to know about this. So can you please share with folks, what is Careforth, your role? How does this work?
Yes. So my name is Leticia Torres. I'm an account manager here in Rhode Island for Careforth. They are a part of the shared living here in Rhode Island. So they're part of the Right at Home program through DHS. So in order to qualify to be a paid caregiver, the consumer or patient has to be living at home with a loved one. It cannot be maritable spouse, or it cannot be a legal guardian or legal POA, but it can be maybe a roommate. It could be maybe your sister, your dad, mom, and they are living at home with you. We do provide a tax-free stipend. But they will have to be eligible for Medicaid LTSS or be part of the PACE program here in Rhode Island, which I'm sure you've heard of. We have a great partnership with PACE. So yeah, they do need to be eligible for 2 or more ADLs. So they need assistance at home. It could be like bathing, it could be like meal preparation here in Rhode Island, or it could be medication management. So they do need to have need help with 2 or more ADLs to qualify. They need to have LTSS, and the most important as well, they need to be residing with the consumer or patient, because many times we see like you are helping, but maybe you're not living at home. So with this specific program of Right at Home, they do need to be living in the same household. And again, it can't be marital spouse, or you cannot be financial POA. You can be a health proxy in the state of Rhode Island, but you cannot be legal POA, legal guardian, or marital spouse.
So it sounds like if you're the person who is responsible for handling that individual's finances, then you can't also get paid. And that kind of makes sense from like a conflict of interest position.
So we go by the state guidelines and the state regulations. So, because we're part of the Right at Home program for the state, we do, abide by all of the state regulations. So it is something that, is unfortunate because many times we do see, a spouse taking care of a loved one, um, which is very sad. But, it's part of we just go by the state. But, maybe in the future it will change. But as of right now, those are
Those
the
are the rules.
criteria. Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, I
Yeah.
wish it was different, but yeah. But, maybe if like a couple is living at home with their grandchild, the grandchild can, be the paid caregiver. So, who it can, someone that lives in the household has to, and they have to be over the age of 18, the consumer and the caregiver.
So if, say, for instance, right now, a lot of kids, 18-year-olds, not kids, they're adults,
Yeah.
are graduating high school and maybe they're not starting college right away. And they just, found out grandmom maybe has a diagnosis of dementia. And the 18-year-old has the opportunity to move in with Graham and make
Yep.
sure that she's safe. Is that something that 18-year-old can get paid to look after Graham?
Yes. That is
Oh,
correct. As long as they are able to pass like credentialing, which, we do need to pass a background check, so that they're cleared on that. We do have some other requirements, like for instance, if they drive, they need to have car insurance, but things like that. But if they don't drive and they're just living at home with grandma, they can pass a background check. They can, do the other credentialing items, which includes um obtaining their CPR, which, part of our program, actually, um, we actually provide that training for them. So yeah. So if the 18-year-old moves in with grandma or has plans to move with grandma, then they're able to then start the process of, applying for LTSS, because again, it is a lengthy process. Let's say grandma has dementia and now her health is declining, then we would have to move on that and apply for LTSS because it can take up to think
a
120
while.
days. 90 to 121 days. I think that it's a range, but sometimes the state is backed up. So we want to make sure that we start the process as soon as we can. So, but they will not be activated until they live together. We do like a whole assessment ourselves. We also go into the home, make sure it's safe, um, and that the consumer can, live there at home. We do our own assessment as well.
And so in this situation, do you guys help fill out that 42-page Medicaid application? Are you guys
Yes.
able to help with that?
Yes. So we help families that are interested in participating in the Careforth program. So, for instance, it's not open just to the public and we just help everyone. But because, like, for instance, if they want to do the shared living program, we have a whole Medicaid team that, let's say, we get a lot of referrals from the point. And, they're living at home with mom. We collaborate with them to complete the application for Medicaid LTSS. We then send it to the state and work with the family to, obtain signatures and complete the whole process, get documentation from the doctors, which is the PM1 form. And we kind of help the families with pretty much obtaining all documentation for DHS, which is a great, it's a great thing because a lot of these people, they're already going through caregiver burnout. They don't know what to do. They don't know, how to apply for this. It's so much paperwork. So we kind of try to make things easy for the families that we are bringing on board by, providing, our knowledge and our assistance and kind of hand holding. Because, it's a difficult thing to be, you know, caring for a loved one at home. It's a very rewarding job, but it is very difficult at times. So we
Absolutely.
have a great team here at Careforth. Like we have the most amazing Medicaid specialists here in Careforth. And it's just a very rewarding job being able to help the community. And, I'm a caregiver myself, so I wish I would have known about this program a long time ago when my grandma was still here. So, like, it's just a great program. And, it doesn't mean that maybe they're seniors. It could be someone that maybe has Down syndrome that is living at home. It could be cognitive or physical disability. So it could be, for instance, someone that has autism is living at home with mom and sister, and they've probably been doing it their whole lives and they don't know that they can be a paid caregiver as long as they meet the criteria like we spoke about.
Yep. That's amazing. And so if I'm understanding kind of the workflow of it, someone identifies that, their loved one needs care and they're living together, they can reach out to you. And that's the 401-662-4928.
Mhm.
You have a team that can help the family do that 42-page Medicaid application, get the doctor's paperwork, all of that. Then it gets submitted to Department of Human Services, who evaluates it, and you can't control how fast the government goes. So that might be 90 to 120 days. But then you get the okay, and then the family gets notified, Careforth gets notified, and you guys have the ability to actually like provide the CPR training for the family and background checks. Is there other training beyond CPR they have to do?
No, so you don't need to be a medical professional for this, role. You just need to do the CPR. You have to be able to pay a background check, which is $45 that we don't provide, but we do provide the free training for the CPR. Of course, we do have other trainings once they're activated and on board. We have up to like, I think 3,000 courses, 3,000 different courses. It could be like medication management, diabetes management, and it's all free to the caregiver. So it's
Well, so wait a minute. I want to back up on that because sometimes as a caregiver, there's things that you don't know. And June, I like to raise awareness of elder abuse, and when we don't know something, it can make us very frustrated and sometimes lead to really bad choices with bad outcomes. So if someone has access to education and can learn how to do things, it kind of reduces that risk. So are you
of
saying
course, yeah.
Careforth offers free training for their participants?
Yes. So we actually have, it's called Careforth Learn. So we have that for our caregivers. And there's up to 3,000 or more courses. So they have, different types of courses. It can be like dementia management. And it's all free to the caregiver. They have access to it. It could be more courses, honestly. I think it's a lot more than that. I just can't think right now. But yeah, it's a lot of courses and they have diabetes management, dementia management. It could even be like they have, I know, meditation videos and other things for the caregiver because we want to best support the caregiver. Because if we best support the caregiver, they are going to do their best to take care of the consumer. So we are a caregiver support team, and we want to make sure that we are supporting them as best as we can. So they have access to, of course, our amazing clinical team in which that they can reach out to, and we meet with them for the first once they come on board after credentialing and they do the CPR and we get all the documentation that we need for credentialing and they get activated. We have a clinical team that goes out weekly for 8 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we kind of help support the caregiver and the consumer. We help them with like maybe a schedule they need help with the medication management. The clinical team includes a nurse, an RN, and actually a social worker or a case manager that helps them as well. So we have that. So they get like both an RN and a case manager, which they are phenomenal here. Like we help with other resources as well. Like if, they have a question on maybe getting a new PCP, it could be if they know any food pantries. Like, we have an amazing team that we like try to best support families that are on Careforth. So we have that. They go for the first 8 weeks, and then after that, they go once a month. So, but at least we try to, the first 8 weeks go once a week and try to get the family on board. We help them with even providing a tablet if they don't have access for their weekly check-ins. So we have a great team here at Careforth. I have to say, I'm not here to brag, but we have the most amazing team.
But it sounds like you have a whole lot to brag on. So
Ah.
yeah, that's important, because these are things that I get asked regularly. Now, I gotta ask, who decides how much the caregiver gets paid? How is that determined? And how many hours do you have to work?
So with the program, the Right at Home program in Rhode Island, it is a little different than saying like hourly. It's not hourly, it's a daily stipend paid out once a week at Careforth, which we just switched to that. It used to be every 2 weeks. Now we do weekly pay for caregivers. So that is determined by the state. So the state has, they
The state
determine.
determines it based on the state budget and
Yeah,
economics and all those things,
right.
I'm sure.
So I can tell you right now, there's two levels right now. It'd be level one is 47.50 a day, and that's around, if there's around 30 days in the month, it's around 1,400, I would say, and then if it's like highest, it's 59.50, which is around 1,800 around there. It depends on how many days, right? Because
Yep.
obviously it's a lot shorter for February than it is for like May. So I would have to, but it's calculated by that. So 47 a day. So if there's 30 days in a month, then times that. And then if it's 59.50, then times that by how many days are in the month. And then you get paid weekly. And that is determined by the state. And it does change. Like, let's say if you are taking care of mom and dad and they both get approved for the program, I know that it decreases a bit for the secondary person. So you can, in the state of Rhode Island, I believe you can take care of 2-3 people, um, 2 to 3 people in the household. So maybe if you're taking care of mom and dad, you're able to do the program as well. But again, it varies like how much for the second person, as
Right.
well as if they are going to an adult day health. Let's say like the caregiver is,
Oh, and they can go to an adult day health too. Okay.
yeah, but it does decrease. So let's
Right.
say,
Because you're less
yeah,
time actually
with the
there. But
person, yeah. But it does decrease to a little bit. So it varies. Everybody's situation is different, so it's hard to say.
right.
Because again, the state is the one who determines that. We submit the paperwork and everything like that. We send what the doctor, recommends in the PM1 form, but the state ultimately gets the last decision on what level it is and how much. Because if they are going to an adult day, then that those numbers change.
Yep. That totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. But it's an opportunity for people who maybe have to reduce their work hours to care for mom or
Mhm.
dad, or
Yep.
their child with adult child with a disability.
Oh yeah, or if they work from home a lot of the times. We have
Yeah.
people that work, they cannot be on site because they're taking care of mom or dad or a child that is over the age of 18. So, maybe they're living at home with them and they're working remote, then they're able to do this program because again, you cannot be working full time, let's say, and then do this because the idea is that you're home with your loved one, not half the day, but there is like, if maybe, you're working while mom is in the adult day health program or like a
Right.
daycare, then you're able to do it. If you're working, maybe they go 9 to 2 and you're working 9 to 2, then you're still able to do the program. So there is, everybody is different, I say. Like, so I feel like when we do get a referral, we do ask a lot of questions, but it's because we want to make sure that they qualify for the program because we would hate to do the whole process and they're like, hey, we work at the hospital, I can't be home, like, or something like that. So
Right.
then when I do get a family like that, we do recommend other services because maybe shared living isn't the best service for them. Maybe a CNA coming in, helping mom while you're at work would be the best service. So I'm very optimistic and I like to refer to everyone if this is not the best fit. So I do like to, even if I do get a referral, it doesn't work out, I like to then refer them back to another organization or maybe refer them to another solution for their families because I know it can be very tough. So I work very closely with the Point. So shout out to the Point because they are like, they
Absolutely.
have the most amazing team. So anytime I have questions, do you know any programs that maybe this person can qualify for? They are just phenomenal. So we all kind of are a community here. So we like to like help everyone. So like we have to
Teamwork
work
makes the
together.
dream
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yep. And for folks watching, the Point is also known as the Aging and Disability Resource Center. And their number is 401-462-4444. And they are an amazing team to help answer pretty much any question that you might have, from housing to healthcare to what's the best Medicare plan. So the Point is amazing. Leticia, it sounds like there's so many different benefits and opportunities with the Careforth program for family members and their loved ones. Would you come back on and talk about more services again in the upcoming months?
Oh my God. Yes, I would love to. I love providing resources to the community. So if this is something that will benefit, or maybe this can be an option for you and your loved one, then give us a call. But of course, yeah, I would love to come back on and definitely speak about Careforth and what we offer because we have a phenomenal team here in Rhode Island. So shout out to my team because they are amazing and
Awesome.
we enjoy helping families. So we are here to support.
And that's the 401-662-4928. It's also scrolling down at the bottom, and it's careforth.com.
Yes. Yeah. So that's actually my cell phone. So if you guys do have any questions or feel free to give me a call, leave me a message and we'll definitely reach back out.
And you really do call back.
I do call back. I do call back. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deb. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Everybody, this is one of those programs that just does not get enough hype. So often we do have to set aside our work to care for our loved one. And Careforth is offering this opportunity for caregivers to receive a stipend to care for their loved one. These days with the prices of everything going up, gas, food, electric, everything's going up. There may be an opportunity for you to receive a stipend for what you're already doing with the loved one who lives with you. So I really do encourage you, reach out to Leticia. She's a wonderful person to talk to. She is just as nice on the phone as she is here on Friday Friends. The number again was 401-662-4928. And again, her team, if you're in this cohabitation, this living together situation, her team can help you do that Medicaid application because I know you've all watched me across a long period of time and you all know Medicare does not cover long-term care. And so Medicaid will. And Leticia's team will help you fill out that 42-page application and get all the doctor paperwork so you don't have to go crazy for that. It's a win-win for all. Anyway, folks, I am so glad that you joined me today. I hope that I will see you on Saturday, August 15th for our 7th annual Calling All Veterans Day event at the CB Museum, 10 to 1. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. In the meantime, be well and be kind.